welcome to Pandora's Box. Today I'm going to do a set review for Commander Legends. Commander Legends is an expansion from Magic the Gathering. It's made by Wizards of the Coast. The set that I'm reviewing is in English. This comes in two kinds of boxes. Draft boxes, which has got 24 packs and 15 cards in each pack, and collector boxes, which are 12 packs per box and 20 cards in each pack. There's a total of 1,185 cards in the set. This is one of the biggest sets ever. This was released in November 2020, and the set that I'm reviewing is actually made in the US. Today's review will be graded based on my patented Virgin system. The V in Virgin stands for Vision. So EDH, or Commander itself, is a very popular format that has rekindled interest in Magic. Wizards has been creating cards for the EDH format for a while now. Pre-built Commander decks sells very well, and this is the first set, the first expansion, right, that is completely dedicated to the EDH format itself, and this is a positive affirmation for EDH. The theme for Commander Legends is Legendary Commanders. Yeah, the popularity of the EDH format centers on the legendary creatures, which each has its own unique abilities that shapes the building of the EDH deck. There's no overarching storyline to bind the set, but some characters referenced by flavor text, right, throughout Magic's history makes an appearance here. For example, Craig the Thumbless and Hans Eriksson. But overall, right, the lack of storyline is inconsistent with Magic's usual high standards. The intention for the set here is really to capitalize on EDH. Pre-built decks, right, Commander decks no longer satisfy WotC. There's more money to be made in this segment, and more importantly, they actually introduced, right, draft to EDH with Commander's Legends. In terms of scale, this is the biggest set out of any TCG I've seen so far. There are over 100 legendary commanders alone, just the commanders itself, and there are over 1,400 cards, right, when you add everything up. The majority of TCGs don't even create this many cards in one whole year. So in terms of imagination, even with the amazing art, right, most creature designs are pretty run-of-the-mill, and I want to let my imagination run wild, but it's actually quite hard, right, in the absence of a storyline. The first I in Virgin stands for illustration. The artwork here is amazing as usual, and this is what everybody has come to expect from Magic. One small gripe that I have with it is that it does not really push any envelope, but however, just maintaining the standard itself is good enough, and it gets a positive from me. The color here is a little bit dull, but it fits the style, the art style of MTG. The cold foils are a little bit dark and grainy, but it still works, I cannot expect the colors here to be as vibrant like Pokemon or Digimon, right? But bright colors actually do not really work for Magic cards, so this is just fine. In terms of flavor, there are little bits of tidbits, right, here and there, right, like with Craig the Thumbless and Hans Eriksson, but without an overarching storyline and without context, right, it's like drinking bubble tea without pearls and with 0% sugar. And in terms of coherency, just by looking at this art, right, just by looking at the artwork, the illustration, I can tell that this art is made for Magic. But at this point, right, my expectation for Magic is really, really high. Zendikar Rising feels like Zendikar Rising when you look at it. Kaldheim looks like Kaldheim when you look at it. You know, this is definitely from Kaldheim. But Commander Legends just feels like it's something that's actually clobbered together. So negative for me here. The R in Virgin stands for realization. In terms of card quality, the card quality here feels a little bit lower compared to Magic's usual standards. The edge foil feels nice and thick, but the tokens and the normal foils, right, are not as minty as they should feel, right, coming out of a pack. In terms of flavor text, the flavor text is on point as usual, but the lack of an overarching storyline means that Magic does not need to use the flavor text to advance the story. This actually frees up more space to give each individual card more character through the flavor text, and I prefer it this way. Effort. The large scale of Commander Legends is offset by the large volume of reprints and the lack of a storyline. But this is still a positive for me, considering that they introduced a new draft format for EDH. I don't know whether Commander draft will be popular in the long run, but I'm grading this purely based on effort, and definitely the effort is there. In terms of prices, as you know, prices for Magic product only goes up. Especially collector's boxes, and especially collector's boxes in Commander's Legends. Crazy. Last one, in terms of implementation, right, there was a big supply bottleneck at the launch, especially for collectors boxes. And I understand what was his policy, right, is to release the product in waves, but I feel that they are leaving money on the table this way. So I think this is negative. So the G in Virgin stands for gamble. So gamble, okay, or gacha, right? Not gameplay, gacha is the soul of a trading card game. That's why it's called a trading card game. Trading comes before game. In terms of value distribution, we have one big chase card, the extended art foil Jewel Lotus. And this card completely skews the chart. Fortunately, many other cards here hold very, very strong value, such that it does not feel like a bust even when you do not open a Jewel Lotus in the box. And don't worry, we are safe. This is not a repeat of Champion's Path Charizard. So value distribution is a positive. In terms of short-term value, the short-term value of the cards are very, very strong. The EA foil Jewel Lotus skyrocketed when people realized how hard it was to pull, and other cards like Mana Drain and Vampire Tutor also gives this immediate value. In terms of emotional impact, it does feel good to get the big chase cards, but the edge foils are kind of a disappointment. It feels like the rarity of the edge foils doesn't matter since you're going to get at least 1 to 2 mythics per collector pack. So in terms of emotional impact, I don't really feel anything even when I pull a mythic edge foil. So that's a negative here. And I was super happy opening my first few boxes, but my excitement kind of tapered off at the end. This shouldn't be the case because this is such a big set and I was still pulling new cards right towards the end. I cannot explain why I felt like the last few boxes were a chore to open, but I'm actually going to follow my heart and mark this as a negative. The second I in Virgin stands for innovation. And Magic introduced EDH Draft here, and anytime a company is trying to shake up the current meta or introduce new formats to the gameplay, right, automatically gameplay gets an A. And for the physical product itself, the new edge foil cards are a good product innovation, even though the color is again a little dull, and the edge foil, right, does not curl. So I think edge foils, right, will feature heavily in Magic's product lineup moving forward. So it's a positive. In terms of intellectual property, although Magic introduced a good number of new legendary characters here, none of the characters here really stand out like a Liliana or Jace. So in terms of IP, maybe, yeah. And in terms of peripherals, also nothing much here, only a couple of Tribute Commander decks, but at least, I don't know, at least it's better than nothing, I guess. The last criteria here is N for novelty. In terms of significance, as the first EDH focus set, Commander Legends will always be in a conversation, right? Whether or not EDH sets, right, prove to be a success or a failure in the future. Even if this is a failure and never to be reprinted, Commander Legends has the significance of being the first ever EDH focus set. In terms of nostalgia, it is pretty strong here with characters like Hans Eriksson, Gerald, and Craig the Tumblers, which are actually referenced in old Magic cards and making their first ever appearance here. In terms of iconicness, right, this set introduced the Jewel Lotus, and they are flying as close to the sun as it can be, right, in regards to reprinting the reserve list and the Black Lotus in general. Jewel Lotus will definitely confirm plus chop, 100% confirm plus chop, right, be reprinted many times in the future. But nevertheless, right, the nature of Jewel Lotus means that it is automatically enshrined into the pantheon of iconic cards. In terms of long-term value here is also very strong. The EDH Commander staples, right, will always hold their value regardless of how many times they're going to be reprinted. In addition, the draft boxes will always hold value because players will always need to crack boxes in order to play draft EDH. In terms of originality, Commander Legends is original in a way that Magic embraces EDH. There's a whole lot of new cards and artwork, right? Even though this is a very reprint heavy set. So with this originality, I actually gave it full marks for novelty. After analyzing this set according to my patented Virgin criteria, it is time to review my final grade for this product. Before I do that, please remember to like and to subscribe to Pandora's box and turn on the notification button. I post new videos daily, so please remember to check back for more content like this. I'm going to give Commander Legends 4 stars. This is very high when taking it on its own, but when you compare it to other Magic sets, right, it's a little bit on the low side. Reprint sets, right, have always had a higher mountain to climb due to the lack of an cohesive story and the reprint heavy artwork. The artwork here meets Magic's usual benchmark, but at this point, right, I'm just spoiled with all the special expeditions and the showcases and the mystical archives. And the artwork here is good, but I'm really nitpicking already lah. The card quality is very bad. Not very bad. It's bad when compared to Magic's usual standards. The new age foils, right, have amazing quality, but it sort of like cancels itself outright with the dull coloring. Overall, I think Commander Legends is an amazing set, but I feel it just falls a hair short of Magic's usual high standards, and this is why I gave Commander Legends 4 stars. This is my review for Commander Legends. Do you think Commander Legends is as good or as bad as I do? Do let me know in the comments below. If you like what you see, please subscribe to my channel for more box openings, set reviews, top 10s, and content curated for nerds in general. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!